Welcome back to Skippers, presented by Owner's Box Fantasy Sports. Special segment today. We're going to talk about rookie eligible players who have the ability to make a significant impact in fantasy baseball this year. As you can see, we brought on a very special guest, an expert on MLB prospects, fantasy baseball writer for Fantrax, and the co-host of the Fantrax Toolshed podcast. Thank you for joining us, Chris Clegg.
Oh man, thank you guys so much. It's an honor to be with you guys, chatting some prospects. Always a good time. So it's kind of my passion. So always happy to chat about some prospects.
I mean, you're a fun follow on Twitter at Clegg. So we appreciate it for all the prospect help and fantasy help you've done for the community.
Man.
So thanks for joining us. We're gonna go 2 players each. Starting with Chris, we'll go Jared and then me. So your first player, Chris.
Yeah, so I'm gonna stay here locally down here in Georgia and go with Ian Anderson. Now, Anderson's a guy who really, I think, kind of gets underrated a little bit. I mean, we look at his ADP right now for redraft leagues, he kind of sits around like pick 100, but I think people are really doubting how good he was and how good he can be. He's got a really elite changeup, like one of the best changeups in baseball, honestly. And I watched him quite a few times coming up through the minors, live, and he's always had the stuff, and he's just struggled with command. Like that's been his biggest thing. And you saw him come up, first career start, he outduels Garrett Cole. Like he just dominates in the Bronx. He's, killing it. And you imagine that it can only go downhill from there, but he just followed that up with dominant regular season. He dominated the postseason as well. And when you look at what he did, I mean, it doesn't scream regression by any means. No. And people will be quick to attest like his 2019 AAA stint, which was only 24 innings. He struggled a little bit there, but man, I think you got to push those numbers aside, short sample, like the command. I get it. It's not perfect, but I watched several of his outings this spring so far. He just paints the corners, man. He knows where he's throwing it. The walk rate is not ideal, but you can live with 10% when he strikes out the kind of guys that he does. And, the arsenal's elite. And I really think Anderson's a real bargain where he's going. I think that fantasy guys are going to really like him. I think he's an SP2, honestly. So I think he's a real bargain. You get him around pick 100. I'll take him all day.
Yeah, you're saying that stuff plays for sure. I mean, walk rate for young guys is always going to be one of their issues. Like they can work on that for sure. So obviously, Ian Anderson, good pick there. Jared?
Yeah, I like that pick too of Anderson. You look at his stats, you're like the barrel percentage against even, you're just like, holy crap. Like he came in and he just shoved, and it'll be interesting to see if he can bring that. But again, he's so young. I mean, at 98, I was like, oh, like that's young. But I like him too. I think he's going late. I got someone who hovers around 100 ADP too, and that's Sixto Sanchez from the Marlins. I think that the one advice that I think if he changes, this guy could be an elite pitcher in the MLB, and that's throwing his fastball more. He throws his fastball only 23.8% of the time. The guy throws it's 98.5 miles per hour. I don't know if it was because of his first year and he thought the hitters were going to be way better, and he was like pretty much had 4 pitches that he was throwing pretty evenly, but 2 of his pitches were getting crushed. So I think that if he changes things up and trusts his fastball more, this guy can be elite. I like him on that Marlins team. And I think that, anyone who throws that hard, who has like 5 different pitches, I like just in general. Kind of reminds me of Nate Pearson, but with better off speed. So I like Sanchez.
Yeah, I mean, 98 plays anywhere, man, especially when you're young. I think it'll be a good Marlins rotation that people are kind of sleeping on too. So I'll go into my pick. Big bopper. I like the guys who hit the ball hard. I'm going to go rookie Bobby Dalbec of the Boston Red Sox. He's a big physical right-handed hitter. Got into 23 games last year. He hit 263 with 8 home runs, like a 45% fly ball rate, and hit a ton of home runs on those fly balls. I mean, short span, 45% hard hit rate as well. I mean, that's top 30 if you qualify over a full season. I mean, it's hard to keep it up, obviously short sample size. But look, you hope he's a little bit more advanced at the plate. He's 25-year-old rookie. But realistically, I think he can hit 240 with 30 bombs and 70 RBIs this year. Your thoughts on that, Chris?
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's like tailor-made for Fenway as well. Like his bat's going to play up so much. And, even if my thing is he's like the equivalent of Matt Olson. And like Olson's going, 200 picks ahead of him. So I love the skill set. And Dalbec's just been showing off this spring. I think he was leading spring training at one point. I haven't really kept up a whole lot with the leaders, but yeah, I mean, he's just a masher. And, even if he hits just 250 and gives you 35 bombs, like that's going to play for sure. And good lineup. He's going to give you a lot of runs, a lot of RBIs. So I like that.
Yeah. Your second pick, Chris.
Yeah, and so I'm gonna go to a guy who's not really a bopper, like you'd say, but that's Cabrian Hayes, and I think that Hayes gets kind of underrated a little bit. And the question mark with him is coming up through the system was always the power. Like, did he have the power to like be a 20 home run guy at the next level? Like, he's elite contact. He's going to hit for good average. He's elite in the field. Like, he's going to win some Gold Gloves at some point in his career. But dude, his skill set for third base for fantasy baseball plays really, really well. And right now he's going late enough where he's like a real value. I think he's got like a special skill set. And even if it's just 20 home run power, like dude's got the speed to steal you 10 to 15 bags. He can hit 300 and hit 20, 25 bombs. Like, I'll take that at third base all day. And you saw him come up last year and just light it up. Yeah. And yeah, there's some regression coming. He had a 450 BABIP last year. That's insanely high. His home run to fly ball rate was a little high as well. There's going to be a little regression, but I do think that he's extremely good because we saw in the minors, like he hit a ton of doubles, like, and eventually like guys grow into power. And he's one of those guys that some, like not a lot of scouts said, but some scouts said it was coming. And here it was. Like, you look at how hard he hit the ball last year. He had a nearly 93 mile an hour average exit velocity, topped out at 110, pretty solid. And on line drives and fly balls at exit velocity near 96 miles an hour. Really good stuff here. And his hard hit rate of 55%. Again, small sample, so I think you can expect some of that to regress a little bit. But man, I think Hayes is going to be in for a big breakout this year, and he's a real bargain. You can get him pretty cheap at the position, and him return some real value for you.
I got a question for you. Are you taking Cabrian Hayes or Alec Boehm?
That's like the big debate. And yeah. I don't know. Like right now I'm leaning Hayes. Like for a lot of the offseason, I was kind of like in on Boehm, but the more I've looked into it, I'm kind of leaning Hayes side now. He's a little cheaper as well. So where he's going, I'll take him there.
Don't hate that at all. Good pick. Jared?
I got from the Twins, Alex Kirilloff. I think it's his time. I mean, you hear the Royce Lewis news, right? Devastating news. Everyone thought he was going to be coming up. He gets the injury. I think he's the guy now. He's, the Twins play in that weak division. And I think the big things I like about Kirilloff is how he sprays the ball. I think that's so important now with the shift and all the analytics. If you do not spray the ball, they will find a weakness, and it's the major league. This isn't the minors. So I think that's a big bonus for Kirilloff to see success in the MLB. I love that he sprays the ball. So, if he bats 6, that's kind of where he's projected. But if he gets in the lineup to hit, I like that. I think this is a strong Twins team. If he kind of hits in that middle, I really like that. And I think that this guy could do some damage in the MLB.
Not bad at all. I'll go mine. I know, Chris, you like this guy. Fighting for a spot in the rotation. It's going to be Logan Gilbert for me.
Yeah.
I see you tweeting about him all the time. I love it. I think you said you think he'll be called up pretty early this year. I think that's why I'm going to take him for a pick as well. I mean, he's a first round pick out of Stetson. They have a pretty good track record of right-handed pitchers by the names of Corey Kluber and Jacob deGrom, if you ever heard of those guys before. So crazy numbers across 3 levels in 2019. Like, it was incredible stuff. Good control of a 97 mile an hour fastball, good hard swing and miss slider, and an above average changeup. I mean, that's going to play. If you have him up early in the season too, like, he's going to eat innings for you. I think he's a guy who can do a lot of damage for the Mariners.
Yeah, that's a sneaky late round pick. And, I was thinking more of like a mid-season call-up, but I've been talking to several guys and they think he'll be up like late April. And if that's true, like even if he comes up in May, like he's going to really play up. And I got asked this morning, like, well, they already have a 6-man rotation. Like, who will he beat out? I'm like, dude, he's just got to beat out like Chris Flexen and Justice Sheffield and Justin Dunn. Like, this dude's elite, like he's going to get a spot. They're not going to hold him back for those guys at all. And Kirilloff, man, that's a fantastic pick. Like, he would have been one, like if you hadn't picked him, I definitely would have said Kirilloff because he's just a stud, man. I'm telling you, he's going to come up and mash. The floor is extremely high ceiling. And like you said, the spray chart, really good. He's got monstrous power, solid hit tool. So he's going to be sneaky good, man. So some good values there.
Well, I have 2 more prospect questions for you. Back in my day, I played a little baseball myself. My high school throwing partner, Jordan Balazovic, the number 4 Twins prospect. Please tell me that he's going to be a good MLB player.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think so. That's really cool, man. So did you go to high school with him or?
We play the same travel ball team. So up here in Canada, we don't really play high school baseball. We play travel ball. So
Gotcha. Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, dude. He's a real talent. You know, they've got a good thing there with him and Yohan Duran. And what I like about Balazovic is the arsenal is really good. I mean, you look at the fastball, really solid. The sliders above average pitch, curveball's really good. Changeup's still developing, but if that changeup takes the next step, then that 4-pitch mix is really, really good. And the command's been solid. You know, he's been consistently low walk rates, so controls the pitch as well, strikes out a lot of guys. I mean, his minor league numbers have been really, really good. So now it'll be a fun year. I think we might see him at the end of this year.
That would make me very, very happy personally. I also played with the Nailers too, so pretty good program that we played with.
Man, that's awesome.
Yeah. Finally, prospect questions for this year. You're drafting first overall. Which right-handed pitcher are you taking from Vanderbilt, Kumar Rocker or Jack Leiter?
It's Jack Leiter. And that's the thing. It's like a coin flip. Like they're both extremely good, but Leiter just has the pedigree, and it's hard to argue with his results. And both their results are, you know, ridiculously good. They're both insane. You can't go wrong with either. But right now, I am leaning Leiter. I just think that he's got the stuff. He's got the command. He just repeats his delivery extremely well. Rocker has moments where he kind of loses the command a little bit, and Leiter's just steady as it comes. So that's my pick, man. And that's the big debate. It'll be the great debate for the rest of the year. So that's a fun one. But
yeah, I mean, Vanderbilt's going to win a ton of games this year, so hopefully we'll see them late in the season too.
Yeah, they're insane, man. I was hoping to get some live looks though, like because I'm pretty close to University of South Carolina and Georgia. But of course, both teams go to Nashville to play. But I'm about to figure out a way to get to see both those guys because, man, they're special talent.
Absolutely. Jared, any more notes from you?
No, I think it was good. It was awesome having you on, Chris. We're trying to grow. You're the first ever guest on the podcast. So it was awesome.
I'm honored.
It's an honor having you on.
So we appreciate it, Chris. Thanks for everyone for tuning in. We'll see you guys next time.